Okay, so this is the first episode. This is actually interesting. I'm not sure if you are aware, Mo, but I did actually start this sort of podcast talk show previously about 2 years ago now. And then come COVID, shut down the business, shut down everything, restarted again. And so we're back with the podcast. And just the whole purpose of this podcast is just to explore experts in the industry. And because I run my own gym and run my own studio, I'm sort of put something together for my community of people to try and help them along their journey. So what I'm doing every single month is inviting somebody on live, like yourself, to share your knowledge, share your expertise, share your experience. And so ultimately the aim is to help more people who are, embarking on the journey of health, fitness, wellness, improving their overall mindset, and just becoming better versions of themselves. So welcome to the first episode, guys. This is episode 1, and we're focused around fasting, training, nutrition, overall mindset. And what a better way to kick this off, because it is the month of Ramadan. And so this episode is all focused around fasting and how to optimize your training and what strategies you can put in place around your food, because there are restrictions around it. So we're going to find out, and I've got Mohammed Yaqub Ali, is that right?
Yeah.
In the building.
Yeah, it's fine.
Mo,
yeah.
or better known as Mo Power.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
To come and join me on this first episode. So let's get straight into it. Let's I guess I'll just introduce yourself in a sense where how I know you and how I've come across you, and the reason why I brought yourself on board from my knowledge is I've been in contact with yourself. You're from up north, up Bolton, is that correct? And I've come across yourself in the previous years. I think I first got in touch with yourself regarding some gym equipment, and I know that you're in that space
as well.
Yeah, you remember what I bought?
The Body Max cable, dual adjustable cable, wasn't
Right,
it?
that's right. Yeah, that's right. So
yeah, sometimes I can't remember.
that's a good memory. I think I bought some farmers walks off here as well.
Yeah, we make all that. But yeah, we make all that stuff.
Do all that stuff. So yeah, I mean at that time and point, I was just building up my gym, and so as a gym owner, I was constantly looking out for gym equipment, trying to get the best deals and stuff, and I came across yourself. So ever since then, I've been following yourself on Facebook, and really like for what you stand for and the messages that you put out, because I mean the industry in itself is it's a bit it's a bit like walking on thin ice. You've got a whole array of differences going on within the industry, and I'm sure you've seen it change over the years. So let's get yourself introduced. So who are you, Mo? Let's break things down a bit. Let's give me a fun fact about yourself before we go into who you are. I'm not putting you on the spot there, but tell me something interesting, something fun about yourself, Mo.
I was very lucky to play with a World Cup winner in football in early 90s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was my thing originally. I was mad about football. Yeah, crazy about football, to be honest. I was never good enough to be a pro or anything like that. I'm not going to say anything. I was okay. I had a hard work ethic, ability-wise limited, but I'm just one of these people who just puts real heart and soul into anything they're doing. Sort of digressing a little bit. Nothing in life comes to me easily. I have to graft.
Right.
It's just the way I am as a person. So. I guess I learn from, because I have to learn everything myself. I find it easier to coach. I've been coaching football since I was 18. So I've been involved in coaching a long time. I mean, before I got into the strength stuff, the strength stuff's been 15 years. But yeah, interesting fact. Yeah, I had a chance to play football with a 1970 World Cup winner.
Okay, and do you know who that was? Who was it?
A gentleman called Jairzinho. He was the only guy.
Okay.
He played with Pele, right wing, and I had an opportunity to play an exhibition match with him in America in 1994.
Brilliant. What position did you play?
I was quite a utility player, but my best position was sort of just in front of the back four. I like do the dirty nitty gritty stuff.
Yeah.
Stuck in, and I don't
Nice.
dribble. I'm not flash. I'm just very basic, hard working, and I let the But I literally played as I got older and stuff. I literally played. I was 2-footed, so I played
Nice.
literally centre back, right back. I don't think there's any position I've never played.
Okay, nice.
People just put me in, and I'll put a shift in.
Tried it
But
all.
then I was getting older, get a lot of injuries creeping up and stuff, and I thought, yeah. And then coincidentally, I sort of knew I wanted to become a strength coach. I just knew it. I've been doing it all my life, and then it kind of realised that's what I want to do. So I went back to uni at 35, which is bloody late. I've kind of digressed, actually. Sorry about that.
That's okay, man. Let it all out, man. This is the time for you to let people know.
So I went to uni at 35. I didn't have any formal qualifications. I wasn't really an academic at school or anything. I was very average, to put it mildly. I was just mad about football and sport and keeping fit, and a lot of it was just self-taught. Read up on stuff, do things, do this, do that, and then finally I decided to go to uni at 35. I did a degree in sports science and coaching. Then I did a master's in strength and conditioning. But in the meantime, in 2009, I went and spent time with Louis Simmons at Westside Bible, who just unfortunately passed away a few weeks ago. So I just had I've just got a thirst. I'm crazy about it even to this day. I'm always learning. I never stop learning. I'm just so interested in how things work, because I think we're very rigid. Especially, I tend to work more predominantly now with athletes. Obviously, when I started off, I was working across the board with from just every regular person who wants to do a bit of fitness training and get healthier and stuff. And then obviously, but now on average about 12 to 15 athletes a week.
Nice, brilliant. Let's talk about the you mentioned like whatever you did, you got stuck in, and you had this hard work ethic. Let's talk a bit more about that. Where did that sort of come from?
I think that's just something that's in me. I don't know. Because like growing up, I was average at everything. Like I love playing sport. That was the thing at school. I played everything. I played football. I played rugby. I was captain of the cricket team, captain of the badminton team. I did cross country.
Wow.
I just loved playing. It was never. I loved the competition.
Did you have like? Sorry to interrupt. Did you have like older brothers or anything? Where you?
No brothers. Nothing. I was one of two. My sister's 2 years older. But as I said, I just had this love of football, especially football was the thing. I mean, even though I played a lot of other sport, but I was quite advanced in a sense. So I was playing with guys who were 3-4 years older than me.
Wow.
And then I played Sunday League football at the age of 14, 15, which is really young. I'm playing with men now. I'm not playing with kids.
Right.
I never played kid football.
No way.
I played straight into playing. So it was a baptism of fire. You get around. I'm about 14 stone now. I'm a lot heavier, but I mean, I used to walk around probably about 9 stone, went through it. I'm just getting pummeled, on heavy pitches and stuff. But I tell you what, looking back on it, best experience ever. If you're going to learn, play with men just teaches you to man up, because if you don't man up, you're going to go home and cry. That was it. It was just that, and then I think I've just got this drive. It's what I do even now. I love what I do, and I think sometimes people can't understand it. So I've been doing this 15 years. I've been coaching since I was 18, which is nearly bloody 33 years of my life. And I absolutely love coaching. I just get such a buzz out of it, even to this day. And watching people get better and improve. And I've never stopped learning. I'm always learning. I'm always researching. I'm always doing something. And I guess I'm like a child. I'm just curious about everything. How does this work? Why does this do this? Why does that do that? How can I make something better?
Yeah, no, that's very rare to come across these days, especially in our industry, where things are really sort of done on fast track to gain these sort of qualifications. And so, like, I mean, that's really nice. It's good energy to hear. I really like the fact that you have a thirst for the knowledge, and That's really good. Okay, so let's go to let's talk about, so you went to uni, got your qualifications, you went out to America. What was that like when you went out to America?
That was just an experience. I was looking, actually, I was just about to finish my degree. So I was in the last year of my degree, and I wanted to just do an internship, just get more experience. So I thought, I'm looking around, different people, and I came across, please, Louis, forgive me, I know you passed away, but I come across a bootleg DVD.
All right.
Of West Side Barbell training. And I thought, wow, this is crazy. I want to find out what this is all about. This hardcore chains, bands, this, reverse hypers. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So me, I just contacted him.
Wow.
I just sent an email to his wife.
No way.
And I said, I want to come over. And they said, yeah, come over. That was it.
Wow. Just like that.
Yes, and that was like probably December time, and beginning of February, I get a plane ticket and I go to Columbus, Ohio, middle of nowhere.
No way.
And it was just like, it opened up my eyes to training, and I think sometimes there's a time and a place to be regimented, to follow protocol, to do, as you said, people are just looking for rush instant stuff. But there's also time for variety. And obviously Louis developed the conjugate method, which is a 3 different methods put together, and he came up with his own, which was, conjugate is basically like max effort, dynamic effort, and repetition method. So now, for the average person, I wouldn't recommend it. It's more for the intermediate to elite level lifter who has a solid, good for you base of proper good quality strength training.
Right.
So again, I'm a big believer, you have to go and pay your dues. You've got to build your foundation of strength.
Absolutely.
And every athlete that I work with, we always do strength work. And like when I first started coaching a lot of boxers and stuff, why do you strength work? You're going to get slower. You're going to get them this. You're going to get them that. I'm like, well, look, we're not doing a hypertrophy training. We have to fight within the weight category, but we've got to get them maximally stronger. So it can generate more force. Then we're going to develop their velocity, etc. And boxing is quite unique. It's got a lot of different facets. So it's things like that. It just opened up my eyes to different ways of training, and like the reverse hyper for the first time, seeing that, a tread sled, doing a lot of sled work. They were all out, doing hamstring sled work. They had a big wheelbarrow. He called it a wheel farrow. So that was developing more GPP, which is just general physical preparation. It develops, carrying a heavy ass a wheelbarrow with a good few hundred kilos develops everything, from the cardiovascular system to your grip, your traps, everything's working.
Nice. So you decided to travel across the world rather than finding anything local. Was there nothing going on in the UK at that time? Was it not very popular?
I think it was, but I don't know. It's just something. I seen this DVD and did a bit of research on YouTube and stuff, and I was just fascinated. I thought, wow, this is some different stuff. I've never seen anything like it. And that was it. So I just went, and that's the thing. I've got that passion for it and the drive. That's what people don't understand. If you do a job, anything I've done in life, I give it 100%, and actually more. And I think they could see that when I go to places, and even now when I'm talking, I'm extremely passionate, and I'm like,
you can see it
within. That's just that I get such, as I said, I get such a buzz out of it, even to this day. Whether I'm making a piece of equipment, I've designed it, or I'm actually coaching people, the satisfaction. I don't know if you saw a video I put up a couple of days ago of this blind lad jumping a box 27 inches, and like, this guy's blind, and I'm like, weeks we were working on it bit by bit, just started off with a 6-inch box, 12-inch, and don't forget, he can't see when he's landing. We can see when we're landing.
Yeah.
And the satisfaction I got out of doing that, I was just like, wow. And then a few years back, I had a lad who was blind and deaf.
Wow.
And I taught him how to do a log press, carry a yoke, all strongman stuff besides stones that we ended up using heavy slam balls. And yeah, he communicated by sign with hand. And he had a support worker who could interpreter. And so for me, I'm always learning, working with different people, with different, both able-bodied and people who who have disabilities. And honestly, I always think if you can coach people with disabilities and stuff, it's a lot easier working with able-bodied. Right. But the difference is the mindset is different. With the people, when they have some kind of a limitation, they're so much more receptive.
Wow.
Generally, the athletes I've got, I'm very lucky because I'm very headstrong. If I can't work with somebody, I'm not going to work with them. I don't see the point. They have to buy into my philosophy, and it's going to be a mutual thing. And I'm fortunate enough that I don't have to worry about that. So everybody I've got to buy into what I do, and we have a good, very, very good relationship. I mean, some of the lads like Muhammad Ali, he's the first type 1 diabetic to be granted a professional boxing license. Now I've trained for 11 years.
Wow.
It's a long time. We're still working on things. And then I've got Abdul Khan. He's been around recently. He was a junior national champion, a youth national champion amateur boxer. He's turned pro now. He's Amir's cousin.
Right.
And Amir promotes him and stuff as well. He's been with me over 5 years now. So a lot of them, they've been with me a long time.
They buy into what you do.
Absolutely. And some of the young lads we see who've been training with me for the past 7, 8, 10 years. I mean, some have been with me a long time. Like Zach, he's a doctor now. He's a GP, and he's been with me 15 years. And they still come and train. And some of them will compete in strongman or powerlifting. There's never any pressure of me for these young lads to do anything sport related. If they want to compete in strongman, I love strongman. Let them do it. I mean, I have my own strongman show once a year.
Yes, I want to talk about later. Okay, no, sounds good. So let's just go back again. So the time you went out to America, did you already have your gym set up, or?
Yeah, I had a very, very basic gym in this back at the end of this mosque. It was an old dumping ground. I cleaned up, no creature comforts, nothing.
Yeah.
And I made a gym in there. I was actually coaching football. That's what it was. I went coaching football there in the winter time, and the lad who was the president of the mosque and stuff, I went to school with, and I said, "Look, this is an empty room. It's full of crap. If I clean it up, can I build a gym?" I said, "Basic stuff." He said, "Yeah, cool." And that's how it all happened. Never planned. Never had a business plan. Nothing. I didn't know I was going to get into this industry. The way it's worked, I wanted to originally go and work with pro teams and stuff. But the way things worked out, lo and behold, 5 or 6 gyms later, I've got a 6,500 square foot place now, and
amazing.
Every equipment you can think of, I've got it now. Literally from belt squats to reverse hypers, inverse curls, every bar you can imagine. It's a labor of love. It's a passion.
Yeah, so let's say you were working with the general part, you're doing lots of training lots of people, and what made you go for or turn more towards like the athlete side of things? Like, what was it about that made you pursue that more?
From what I can get, most athletes that I work with, well, not all of them, they're driven.
Okay, so would you say that resonated with your own sort of personality and
they have the hard work ethic, and they've got that, they're willing to put the grind in, and that's one thing I see, especially in the fitness industry, more probably with able-bodied and with recreational people training for health. They're looking for instant gratification, and I don't provide that. And I've said it very categorically on a lot of my posts when I write a lot of things. You got to buy into what I do, and you got to pay your dues. It's like building a house. Why would you build it on sand? You build it on a solid foundation. So when people come and train with me, the first thing I do is I hammer the technique.
Yeah.
And I don't care how much they can lift. I mean, I'll give you a really good example, a very recent one. I've got a lad called Samir Aftan who just turned professional. He was a finalist in ABAs and seniors about 2 years back. And Sammy's just turned over now. He's going to be, hopefully everything goes to plan, he'll be fighting in July time. Now, Sammy came with a very, very, he'd done a bit of training here and there, but he was all over the place. And I said to him, we're going to go back and we're going to break it down and we're going to build you up. And that's what I did for a year. I never let him squat with a bar.
Wow.
For 1 year.
No way.
He did a lot of heavy goblets.
Okay, just goblet squatting, yeah.
I got his technique absolutely banged on, worked on his upper thoracic. They tend to be very kyphotic because they box, and obviously they want. So, a lot of retraction, scapular retraction work, and getting to hold the bar properly, etc. We did lots of all that. And then the first time recently, about after a year later, I put him on a bar. He just nails it.
Wow.
And I thought, and then he buys into it 150%. And same with everything I've done with him. I've taught him everything bit by bit. So what I tend to do with athletes, especially, even with general public, if they just want to train, is build the foundation, build it solid. The one thing I see a lot, especially young lads, they want to look the part. I understand all that. I was young one time as well, but they don't work the technique. They don't work the big, the big exercises, the compound movements. They want to do the big chest, big guns, and I'm like, guys, you've got a deadlift, you've got squats, you've got bench, the massive lift. They work so many muscles, So what the Americans say? Why are you majoring in the minors? Spend time in the majors,
Right.
Get yourself strong. I've got a young kid at the moment. He's been with me 7-8 years now, Khalid, and cracking lad. He's one of, we call him the robot. He's one of these kids who comes in 3 times a week, doesn't say much, but he listens to everything you say, and he works at it. This kid is hitting 190 deadlift, 80, no belt, no straps, nothing.
Wow.
A solid over 100 kilo solid bench. And he's got a squat of about 140. It's just years of technique work.
Yeah, over and over again.
Growing, testosterone's kicking in, he's getting the growth hormone release. Boom. And that's what it's about. It's about, and he comes in, and I've got a few. I said some of these guys, they've been with me a long time. And these guys have been with me from day one. So even though they're not athletes, they're the guys who obviously helped me set up the gym. And they're part of the furniture, and they're part of the more power, really. It's just as much as them as it is me. Because these are the open-minded guys that, like, I've got crazy ideas, I'll experiment with things and they just go with it.
Yeah.
Like, what have we got now? Oh, we're gonna try this out. We're gonna try this out. Oh, yeah, fine. Let's hit this a 6-8 week cycle on this particular exercise. See if that's going to help with something else. And they're kind of like me. They're very open-minded because obviously they've been around that environment. And but when it comes down to it, we stick to fundamentals. We just do basics. Honestly, we live on basics.
Why do you think why do you think that still occurs, in the sense of people like young lads going for, majoring in the minors? Why do you think that still is around?
I think a lot of young lads, I think they've got this correlation, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they, by looking good, by doing all the superficial stuff, they're going to attract girls. Right? I mean, I guess I was the same. I was. And then you get older and you kind of realize I was wasting my time. Because, as I said, you've got this huge, massive foundational muscles, and you pissing about doing bicep curls. I mean, my guys will laugh. If you ever meet any of my boys and you talk to them, they'll say, mention bicep curls, and Mo will I always say at the end of a session, I've actually calmed down a little bit now. And I'll say, look, end of the session, you want to put some bicep curls in, by all means do it. I'm not against it. But to me, it's about efficiency, efficacy. You come in, you're in and out in an hour. I don't believe in long sessions, nothing. It's just solid. You come in, you do your deadlifts, you do your little bit of assistance work, and you don't work your weaknesses. That's the big thing. That's one thing I learned of Louis. Always work your weaknesses. Something, even if you leave it for a while, you'll always be good at it. But when you're weak at something, like he broke his back twice, and the second occasion when he broke his lower back, that's when the reverse hyper came into play, and he patented, I think in the late 80s, I may be wrong. And we've always had a hyper since the day I went there. I swear by it. I've had loads of back injuries over the years of, just abuse playing sport and stuff. But yeah, it just comes back to, just stick to your basics, find out where your weak points are. If it's a bench press, usually, you struggle off your chest. If it's raw bench press, meaning you don't wear any bench shirts or anything. If it's a squat, generally it's when you're coming out the hole. The deadlift is slightly different because obviously it's a dead weight and you don't get any eccentric loading, it's all concentric. So you got to work out where you are, and that's what I do. I work out. Okay, this person's struggling with this. This person. I've got a guy at the moment. Um, he's deadlifting 300 kg for 8 reps in one go.
Wow.
Right now, strong dude. He's got a 1 rep PB of 360, about 120 body weight. So it's 3 times body, 3 times body weight deadlifter, and he was about 140 kg. He lost 20 kilos, so his mechanics felt different. And he's a coach himself and a friend of mine as well. And he came over from Oldham Way, and we went down and we just did a bit of tweaking here and there, adjusted his feet position, got his head position a bit better. And we worked on things. And every few weeks he comes back and he feeds back with me, and we just go through the technique stuff. And that's one thing. And then I had another gentleman who had the same issue. He broke the Northwest record. He pulled a 280 deadlift at 82 bodyweight raw with a belt.
82, bloody hell.
And he was clean as well. He wasn't under, And again, he came from Southport, and he had a issue with his technique. And I just sat and watched. My philosophy is like the way I'm sat now. I'll sit on a, what do you call it, a chair, put my feet on something, and I'll just watch what goes on. I don't say anything. I just watch and
observe. Yeah.
I'll have a cup of tea in one hand and I'll watch and think, what is he doing? And I think I've just over the years I've just developed an eye for things, and people make mistakes, and I correct really quickly, and I'll tweak things, and I say, look, this is what we need to work on. This is what you need to do. Then the critical bit is you've got to go back, drop your ego, and work on your weaknesses. And that's what Matty did as well. He actually missed a 280 deadlift in comp, and 6 weeks later he pulled a 280 comfortably. And it was just tweaking his technique here and there, minor things. I mean, obviously he's a fairly elite level lifter. He's lifting that kind of weight. But the thing is, when he listened to what I said, he went and worked on it, and it's same with the lad I've got now. I'm doing a lot, technique with a big deadlifter. And again, the same thing. It's always you've got to put the time in. And the big problem I see, especially in the fitness world, it's all about fast results. Nobody wants to put the grind in. It's all young lads want to go lads and ladies now, and they want this particular way of looking and physique and this. And again, if that's what you're into, I'm cool with it. Entirely up to what you want to do. But what I don't understand is, why would you spend so much time doing the smaller stuff when you're going to get results from doing the bigger movements?
Absolutely, yeah. Because I still have clients that have come to me recently or over the years and never touched their legs, never trained their legs properly, and it's insane to me. And they're having a world of problems, or they find that they're really weak on their legs. So, and as soon as they get in our place, we're hitting legs like twice a week, or we're getting them in. So it's a big shock to a lot of people, and I think that's where the real goal, isn't it? Like you said, building those foundations, doing it over and over. It's good, man. It's good to hear. Okay, cool. Let's sort of sidestep then. Let's go over to so you mentioned you sort of manufacture gym equipment, you design it as well. Talk me through that process.
It was a coincidence, really. I was always into it. We were buying stuff like 15 years ago in strongman gear and things, and buying it, the weldwood brake and stuff. And I thought, there's got to be a better way. I'm paying money, and obviously I'm a bit new to it at the time. And then I found my own welder.
Right.
And, ideas, and we also discussed things, and what ideas I had in my head, I could tell him and he could make it. Wow. We had a good communication and a really good connection. And I mean, the biggest project was we made a few things. We made like car deadlift frames, a lot of strongman stuff, really. Loads of strongman logs. We're known for that, sleds. But we made like a Hercules hold, a massive.
Oh yeah! Wow!
A big piece of kit, and we made that, and then we made a Fingal's finger. Honestly, we've made all sorts, and it's just I enjoy it. For me, it's just the process. It's not all about obviously, I'm going to make a living out of it, but I genuinely enjoy making it. It's just, it's more again, how does it work? I'm just curious. I'm like, and then a lot of times I'll get it to the gym and I'll play around with it. And I'll get my light. Well, I probably won't play around with it but nowadays, but I'll get my boys to play around with it and use them as guinea pigs. I won't tell them that, but they know that anyway. And they try it out. And they say to me, they're very honest with me. Because we have a policy in the gym where honesty is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're lifting, I remember I was in India 3 years ago, and one of my guys was lifting, and they said, "Have I hit depth in a squat?" I'm in India. They bloody sent me a video, and that's what we are. Because I'm very straight. I'll tell them straight. I don't cut corners. I'm not into all this backslapping. The most anybody will ever get from me is well done.
Really?
That's it. It's not. I don't overpraise anybody.
Mm-hmm.
To me, yep, well done. Put the session in. But the athletes, they know that. They're driven, lad. They're ready for it. It's a different mindset. The normal trainee, they're a bit different. The mindset is different. But yeah, so design equipment again, it was just one of them coincidences, as most of my life's always been. It's just never been one of them that I've actually set out to do something.
Right.
I kind of just fall into it.
Yeah, just sort of follow your passion.
Yeah, originally the stuff was never to actually sell it. It was just to make it for us.
Right.
And, York, a farm is a log, whatever, just make it, let's just, because we want to use it. And then,
right.
Then I would hammer the crap out of it and think, that's pretty solid, that. And then somebody said, why don't you sell it? Oh, okay. And that's how it happened. Honestly, I don't even have a website.
Wow.
I'm very old school, and the way I work. Even there's not to this day, and I'll get told off by a lot of people about this to this day because they get frustrated with me. I don't have a sign outside the gym.
You don't have a what? Sorry.
I don't have a sign outside the gym.
No sign at all.
No. We don't open to the public.
Right.
I just do basically, it's just hidden away. I just quietly do my work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big believer. I have a philosophy compared to, say, a lot of people, especially in the fitness industry, they want to get loads of clients. So I was related to fishing, and I'm thinking, what am I talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So they'll go in and they'll put a massive net and they'll trawl everything. They'll get the good bits, the bad bits, but they'll get everything. And obviously, volume. Mm-hmm. I'm the opposite. I'll leave it. I'll put my fishing rod out, leave it, walk off. I might only get one person, but that person will stay with me. My work. And that's the difference in mentality. I'm not interested in, the growth, the superficial market. I'm all about, you got to be into it. You got to live it. And I go back to Louis, because obviously he's just passed away, and it still saddens me, because he was the one who told me, he said, just follow what you believe in. Because originally I said my plan was to really work with pro teams and stuff. That's what I really wanted to do. I thought, and every time I was applying for jobs, whatever, I just wouldn't get even an interview. Right. Then I just thought, damn that. I'm just going to follow my own dream. I'm going to create my own. And that's what I did. And Louis always said to me, because Louis wasn't educated. That's what people forget. Louis was a lifter. And he wasn't even very good at writing articles. It was usually people like Matt Wenning who wrote on his behalf, and other people. He'd had the ideas and they would put it into, paper and people can read it. But, he learned from experience. And it was same with me. I went back and I hammered my technique. And I was never a great lifter. And I'm not going to lie to you and say I was this super lifter or anything. Far from it. I've never even competed in strongman or anything.
Right.
But I know how to coach people. And people sometimes don't understand that because they think, how can a guy who's never competed, but he can coach and pick up things? But then you can, if you look at it from a slightly bigger perspective, Alex Ferguson, Mourinho never played professional football, he was a teacher. He had an opportunity coaching under 12 teams, who interprets actually for Bobby Robson at Barca.
Wow.
So again, I don't always think you have to be great at anything. I'm not saying it doesn't help. Sometimes what comes easily to people, and then they got to coach it, they don't find. And also they tend to coach the way that works for them.
Right, their own, what they've been taught,
Yeah. I'm a big believer. I work with the athlete. I see what they can do. I see what they can't do. How do I build them? And that's the big difference.
Yeah, it's going in with a bird's eye view for everything. What's in front of you, isn't it?
I mean, the basics are basics, but if you've got a short time and you get a fighter ready to fight, and he's struggling to do a back squat, especially if I've got like literally they're coming for a camp, which is 8-12 weeks, I'm not going to kill myself and try to get his wrist mobility sorted out. I'm going to get him ready to fight. So I'm going to put him on either heavy goblet squats or a safety bar squat, something easy to do. But we're going to get the results. We're going to get the value, for the big lifts again. And that's what it's all about. It's keeping it simple.
Yeah, often it's overcomplicated in the industry. I know from my own personal experience, you tend to overcomplicate things and overlook the simple things. But you're right. I think it's doing those simple things over and over, you get the best results. And so I guess your sort of client base, and I'm guessing that it's all word of mouth, people just spreading the word for you, walking advocates telling about,
Yeah, all my work literally comes from you're right. I mean, I write a lot of articles on social media. Again, I don't write it to gain more people or anything. I just write it because I absolutely love education and educating people. I just give them honest truth. And that's it. And I break it down to layman's terms and say, look, this is what's happening. This is what you need to work on. It's up to you whether you want to do it or not. I'm not asking you for you to come and train with me. But yeah, all my work literally, it comes from people telling people, and that's how I get in all my work. Some guy knows what he's talking about. All I want to be known for, I'm an honest dude. I do my job to my best ability, and that's it. I'm not interested in being a famous person walking down the street and people patting my back. I mean, I'm nearly 51 years old. I drive an old battered truck. If somebody told me, they think I'm a builder or something. Because I just thought of that. My life is all the gym. It revolves around the gym.
Amazing. Good. So you've also branched out to doing strongman events as well then. So let's hear about that then. How did you come up? Is that just from your experience and interest, or?
Yeah, well, we had Bolton's Strongest Man 2010, and I ended up training quite a few people for it. That was the first ever one. So from that perspective, that's how it developed. And then, so it's been going on since then, literally. But a more power comp every year. We do a cricket club, which I played when I used to play cricket. And it's just a good day out for people. It's a low level comp. It's not high level or anything. It's to get people into the sport of strongman. I find powerlifting, as much as I admire the feats of strength, I prefer the spectacle in strongman. You got somebody pulling the truck, a fire truck. You got somebody carrying these big shoes, stones, and putting them on that, and it's just, I enjoy it. So yeah, we've been doing it every year for the past, besides the COVID years, and it seems to go bigger and bigger. I think we started off originally with just my guys used to do it from the gym.
Right.
There's like 5-10 of them, and they get a trophy. There was a lot of young lads at that time when I was lecturing at that time as well. So there was a lot of young lads who probably wouldn't mind me saying it now. They were all misbehaving kids and stuff. I used to work with really difficult kids, and I got them into and they became, they're grown up now. They're in their late 20s, and they've got their own kids, and it's great seeing them. They've got good jobs and all that, but the formative years, like between the age of 16 and 20, they spent a lot of time with us, just training and stuff, and they had a focus and they just looked forward to it. And it was just for them to get them into the sport, and then it kind of evolved and more people came along. And then last year was the busiest we ever had. We had 50 people, which is wow. For us, that's massive. Good. But also I'm involved with the England under 105. Myself and my partner, which is Shane Burns. He owns Warrior Gym, literally half a mile on the road from me. We both have our own gyms. He's a quite high level strongman and good friends as well. So we've taken that over now. So that's like pretty elite level. So we're going from people doing the sort of basic stuff and enjoying it and getting into it, people think, oh, might do it again and might step it up to now we do the qualifier, which was about 2-3 weeks ago, and in Dortmund, which is quite a big event, But the one we run, it's free to watch, loads of food, stores, things for kids. It's part of the cricket club, which is Dean and Derby. It's their community fun day.
Got ya.
And because I used to play cricket there, and they also helped me, I used to coach. before I had a gym, I used to go there and use the outside facilities.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to give back as well, and obviously they're very receptive to it, and so it's about integrating, getting people together. I'm a big believer. I don't talk religion, I don't talk politics, but I always say if you've got a commonality in something, it'll break down all the barriers. You don't have to talk about it. Just let your actions, let people come and enjoy themselves, and they think, well, unfortunately, the society we live in now, there's a lot of bigotry and stuff, and it doesn't need it. It's just simple. I'm just a simple dude. I'm just all about being nice to people and letting people do things.
Absolutely, sounds good. Good honest man, like you mentioned. I just want to go back to, you mentioned COVID. How did that affect you guys? I mean, I know it was a time where a lot of people took advantage, where when you obviously you sell equipment. So I know during those times things were off the scale, weren't they?
I just stayed the same. I didn't charge anybody above and beyond what I was charging. If I was happy to make £1 a kilo, why am I going to charge people more money? There was a lot of flash in the pans. They came in a short time and they went. I've been doing this 10 years now, and I still do it now. I still buy and sell stuff. It's just something I get a buzz out of it. Picking up deals, selling up, whatever. It's all fun. And but yeah, for me, business, obviously, the gym was the pros. We could train for a certain time. We got given, and we were fine with elite athletes. But generally, the gym was shut. But the business side was busy, so it kind of went hand in hand. And now the gym is a bit busier. The buying and selling is a bit quieter because people are more worried about heating bills and eating, or are they going to buy luxuries? So it's just the way it works. Business is like that. It's never going to be a lounge. You just got to live with it. And my philosophy: if I make enough to live, a bit extra, a few creature comforts here and there, which is very rare, my money gets spent in the gym. Honestly.
Yeah, constantly reinvesting.
I'm 10 years old. I've got holes in my old T-shirts, and I even don't even wear my own T-shirts and stuff. This is my buddy's gym. I'll promote him. Drago, my pal was an ex-pro boxer. I train his girlfriend, who's a professional boxer as well, Lindsay, and I do all strength work for her. And so it's stuff like that. I'm not really materialistic in that sense. It's for me. It's that. It shows my personality. I'm all about the graft. As I said, if people see me outside, they don't know who I am. They might have heard of me, but I get told this all the time. Oh, somebody's heard of you. I'm like, okay, cool. Nice, but it's just I just do what I do, and that's it. I just crack on with it.
Keep focused.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Right, we've got a lot of info on there on yourself and what you do, so really good to hear. So let's go into the whole sort of fasting regime, and given that it's a time where things have to be, changes have to be put in place. Let's talk more. I guess we'll start with the training aspect of things, and what's your sort of philosophy on that? Then the fact that from sunrise all the way to sunset, do you advocate people training during the day? Like, what do you advise to people? What would you advise the person who just wants to keep themselves fit? Because from my experience in the past, I've had it mixed, where some of our members stay on and train with us. Some people take the month off. What do you advise? What's your thoughts on that?
My pros, just carry on. The cardio, which is the bit that's the difference, especially with the fighters. What they'll do is they'll run at night time after Tarawih. More maintenance things, because you're more likely to lose cardio way quicker than strength. So, like at the moment, they'll do 2 sessions a week. So they'll do one interval-based stuff and then one running at a steady pace, some long, steady state stuff. So when they do come back, they're just back and rolling rather than losing too much and then we're going to start again and that feeling of lactate and stuff. Strength-wise, what we do, again, we carry on. We just reduce the volume a little bit. Cut down the sets, a little bit of intensity. We don't want to lose too much strength. But again, research scientifically, it's not me saying it, there's all science that's been, studies have been done by very prominent people that it takes about 3 weeks to lose your strength. So more you're going to lose your cardio a lot quicker. So if we maintain both as best as we can, then we just hit the ground running. And that's what we've always done. Now the pros will train during the day. They'll come in and just train. And then we go back home, go to sleep, whatever. But the running stuff gets left to later on. Normally they'll run between 3-4 times, and plus obviously they do a lot of volume-based work in the gym. So, again, some people train after Tarawih, they do strength work after that. I'm all a big believer. There's no hard or fast rules. It's what works for you and what you feel comfortable with, and your time, etc. Because obviously it's a difficult time, family, going to masjid, doing all that. So, I some people like training like before iftari. I don't think it's a great idea because you're in glycogen depletion. You've not had any carbs or anything. And going kind of leading into this, it kind of makes a bit of sense. What happens when we have iftari in the olden days? Even now, people
stuffing your face.
Pakore, bhajiyas, parathas. But during the year, we hardly eat all that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm not saying don't eat pakora. As you can tell, I like my food, right? But I don't get it. I just don't get it. So they make an effort. And Ramzan, everybody's smashing, instead of losing a few calories and having a bit of discipline with food, and you said, they change their own and stuff, and parda of your eyes and everything else. And I'm like, well, but again, I think Islamically, not that I'm a scholar and I don't pretend to be, you have to look after your body. It's an amount that's been given to you.
Absolutely.
And this is one thing I don't know in our community, especially in the Indian, Pakistani, and Bangladesh, the Southeast Asian community. We kind of say, well, it is what it is, and I'm like, come on, guys, that's BS.
Yeah.
I've got a guy who trains with us, John. I mean, John's in his late 70s, and he's fitter than most people in their 20s.
Wow.
Honestly, he comes and skips and does everything. He does his, stick fighting, which is combat Kali, and he comes and trains at my gym and uses some of the equipment and stuff. And I'm like, so what's limiting you? It's you. I've got some prominent scholars who train at my gym as well, and the imams and stuff, and they're all for it. So I think it's just educating people and changing the way we approach things. I can go back and tell a story about a gentleman called William Boone. I'm a historian of strength as well. I'm just fascinated. This guy, he was lifting monster weights in the 40s, and he used to work in the Louisiana places, digging water wells. So you'd have to be drinking gallons of water. That physical job, 10, 12-hour days, blistering heat. Okay? And he was lifting big weights. And I'm thinking, well, people are just sedentary. It kind of goes on to that. But again, if that time comes, what happens, bro? Everything that's bad for you, for some reason, it seems to be, sweet stuff, this, that, there's a lot of old school sort of Indian and Pakistani mentality and stuff, brother. And I'm like, guys, you need to look up beyond. And I'm not saying don't have a samosa too, but I like my food and I'm not going to say no to it. But again, when it comes down to it, when it really comes down to it's moderation, brother.
Absolutely.
And especially if you eat too much, your stomach's already shrunk.
Right.
So you got to be careful how much you eat, how much you drink. You can't even drink too much. Then if you're going to go to Tarawih time and somebody's next to you burping away,
that's the worst thing, isn't it?
Exactly. And trying to eat a little bit less. Probably the best time to eat is usually after Tarawih.
Yeah.
And best time to train, in my opinion, if you can, because you're fueled.
Yeah, right. You feel ready for your workout.
Yeah, whether you can manage that or not is another thing. I mean, for years we trained after Tarawih. For years. It's just over the last few years, my mum came living with me, and my lads used to still train. They had the keys to the gym, but I wouldn't go out because I used to look after my mum. And since then, I've just sort of got a bit older and lazier, I guess. And my lads will still train, but but I think it's a good time. And it doesn't have to be a massive session. It doesn't have to be an hour, 2 hours. Half an hour. Just do a bit of quality.
Yeah, I think that's what people probably think. That generally, if they're going to the gym, they're doing an hour or over an hour session. They think they've got to still apply that during that month. But you still get an effective session doing half or 45.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you're depleted. You don't have any glycogen, which is carbohydrate. So if you are going to eat, and we kind of like, as I said, I'm not an expert in nutrition by no means, and I don't confess against being that. Eat something that's complex carbs, so he releases energy a bit more slowly. But the problem we've got is, we've got so much temptation, some sweet stuff there, rasmalai, this, that, your eyes get bigger than your belly,
That's right. So generally saying, so when it comes to around the food, iftar time, opening the fast, generally go for something a bit lighter, ready then maybe to fuel, just enough for that workout late in the evening.
I mean, that would be the ideal situation. I mean, it's still like, we've got Muslim footballers and stuff, and they're still fast and stuff, and it is difficult. I'm not going to say that. I've got about 5% battery left.
Oh, no worries. We'll wrap it up in a second.
We'll speak till it goes, and then we'll cut it.
Okay.
So I say, look, just deal with it the way it is. Be sensible. The sleep's the big thing. If you can get an hour nap here, there, hour nap there. Obviously, you want to do your spiritual stuff, because it's not fasting. It's not just about fasting.
Absolutely.
It's all about appreciating what people are going through. We have to give up for a month. People do that every day. To get a meal a day in some countries in the world, it's hard.
Absolutely.
It's neither. It's not difficult, but again, it comes down to discipline.
I think that's I was just going to say, I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've come across with people, is having that discipline. Like generally what tends to happen when it comes to around like these New Year times, people start a diet, start a training program, don't continue. What do you think? Why do you think that is? People lack that discipline. What does it take to have that discipline?
I always say, do they want it enough?
Don't want it enough.
Is it for health? Then why don't people do things?
Mm-hmm.
Again, me and you went into our gym and stuff, but if people want to go for a walk, go for a walk. Do some gardening, do something physical, do a bit of basic stuff, do something. There's no such thing as you can't do it. I'll be 51. My father died of diabetes by the time he was 60, very young. So for me, I've got a high chance, and I'm not great with my food. I'm not going to lie to you and say, I'm perfect with my food, but the biggest thing is I keep moving. I'm always doing things. And I tell that to everybody. I said, people come to me and ask me for advice, they've had injuries or whatever, and I said, look, guys, I'm going to be realistic. How much time do you have? 15 minutes a day. Can you not do things? Can you not do basic push-ups? Can you not do basic lunges, basic squats? You don't need much equipment. You can use your body weight. So you can always adapt, improvise. The biggest thing is discipline. That's what it comes down to. Discipline with food, sleep, how to fuel your body, especially with athletes, they're cutting weight and stuff, and it's hard, even for them guys. The biggest battle they have is, week before the fight, cutting weight. What I always advise them, and again, as not a nutritionist, but cut calories from 2 months out, 500 calories a day. It's not going to kill you. You still got enough fuel. What tends to happen is, I don't believe in camps either. When people say I go into camp, my guys train all year round.
Right, staying ready.
Yeah, they stay ready. We don't follow a linear periodization either, which is like just going up, and then what we do, or Western periodization, we follow more of a conjugate method, which is or concurrent training, which is working all the different qualities, so they're always ready.
Right.
Obviously, the sharpness and the zip comes from the sport itself.
Right.
Your timing, your sparring, actual, match practice and stuff. That's what that would come from. But I am a big believer you keep doing things, because it's extremely hard if you let your body go, and then you got to try and get going. And that's what a lot of people will do. They get ready for a holiday, brother, a wedding, and then they kind of just, I think that the biggest thing I can say to you, it's got to be a lifestyle.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to.
And
it's finding something you enjoy doing, whatever. If it's cycling, whatever, I'm cool.
Just do something.
Exactly. Keep moving. Biggest thing, keep moving. I've got a guy in now, 63-year-old barrister, and a year ago he came and he was literally seized up with COVID and everything. His body was stiff, and out of my gym, we have a physio with my cousin as well, coincidentally, and between me and him, we've got the guy moving. Half his pain's decreased.
Wow.
He's feeling better. Before he can walk more than 7-8 minutes, he's walking half an hour outside, no problems. First thing I said to him was, get moving. But it was like a vicious circle because he had pain, he wouldn't move.
Right.
So if you can keep active, do the simple, sensible things, and do it all year round. I'm not saying don't have a cheat day, don't enjoy your food. By no means. Everything in moderation is key. Life is all about moderation. Obviously, athletes is different. We push it to the limit, but that's the choice they made. And the professional athletes, the professional prize fighters and stuff, they get paid. But the average person, do things.
Yeah.
Get a session in. If you feel like even doing bicep curls, go and do some bicep curls. I'm just being on a serious level. I'm one of them. I'm very laid back about stuff like that. But before I was very intense, and I've kind of, as I've got a bit older, now a bit more like, but at the same time, I would say, if you're not disciplined, you don't have the work ethic, I won't train you. Simple as.
So do you give people like a little trial, or you get your answer from?
They do, and I'm very straight, me. I said, look, our personalities may clash. We have difference in opinions. You could have a different mindset than me. Yeah, cool. Go somewhere else if it benefits you. It doesn't matter. Because the thing is, I've never chased a person in my life. I don't even promote myself. I just write a few things, do that. Alhamdulillah, over time, people have got to know about me. I think I do a reasonable job. I get my work. I've got people traveling from Rochdale, 20, 30 miles away, because they can see the benefit, and that's all I can do. But it's not everybody's going to be on the same wavelength.
Sure.
And I think you got to accept that, and you just got to go with the flow and say, look, cool, it's not going to happen. It's life, It's the way it is. We've got a choice, you got a choice of buying Nike trainers or Reebok trainers, or buying a pair of slippers like what I wear every day. I wear a pair of flip flops in the gym. It's your choice.
Yeah.
It's easy. There's no gun to you.
Of course.
That's something I always say. And then people say, "Oh, I've got to do it." I'm like, "You're not cut out for it."
Yeah.
I never forget a quick story. And I've got millions of stories, but I had an amateur boxer. I went to his dad's place. I was just walking past actually, and he called me over, and he says, "My son's turning, doing amateur boxing, blah blah blah." And I said to the son, he goes, "I'll come next week." I said, "Too late, mate. Don't come."
You said that.
I said that to him. Yeah, you're gonna come tonight.
Yeah.
And he came, and we spent a good solid year with him, and he was brilliant. Wow. I've become really good friends with him now as well. But he realised what I'm all about. You've got to have that. You've got to have it. You've got to have that work ethic. You can't be, I'll do this. It's a hurt business. You're gonna get hurt, Yeah. But again, a lot of people would never do what I do, because that's just the way I am as a person. That's what I'm all about. It's all about, you got to pay your dues, as I said before. If you can't, and you don't want to put the hard work, and you don't want to train your legs, don't ever come to my gym.
Yeah.
Because we live off it. We all squat, whether it's a box squat, a safety squat, a box squat, lunges. We all do things like that. We all deadlift.
Nice.
It's all about being solid, and that's one thing I see a lot of young lads. They look the part, awesome physical specimens. But as one of the articles I wrote, you look like Tarzan, we got the strength of Jane. And then that's a good one. It's got to be real strength that's going to help you in daily life. Like for me, if I have to go outside, I've just not yesterday, the day before, I picked up 4 50-kilo plates. I carried them 20, 30 yards on my own, put them down. But they look at me and I don't have a 6-pack. I'm not wearing anything. I'm like, listen, guys, the real strength is not having a 6-pack. That's just good dieting and watching you win. Having the ability to have a strong core, strong posterior chain, having a strong grip in your hands, that's the reality. And I think there's that balance between kind of looking good and reality. You can do both.
Yeah,
A lot of people do power building, and they do both. It's strong and they look the part. Great. But when I see, walking around and the big dudes, and I'm like, yeah, if you've got strength, by all means, train your legs.
Train your legs. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So it seems like you got a real sense of good community there behind you, Mo, man. Like,
yeah,
keep doing what you're doing. Oh, I think we've lost you. Are you still there? Okay. So we're just going to wrap it up there then, guys. So thank you for tuning in or watching back on this first episode of the podcast, training during fasting, nutrition as well, what to eat. I mean, we sort of went off on a tangent with a couple of things there, just getting to know Mo a bit more on his story, but it's really exciting and still fresh to see, you know, for someone who's been doing it for so long, how they have the passion and how they have the energy to continue doing what they're doing and serving others. And I think that's what it does come down to fundamentally, serving other people. So I just want to say thanks to Mo for taking his time out to join me on the call. This podcast episode will be online, available. There is a website. I just get it up. I think it's anchor.fm, which I'll be uploading the audio so you can have a listen to it on there. I was going to plug in Mo's socials, but like you heard from him, he doesn't have any social media. I think you can find him on Facebook. Mo, was it again? Mo, let's look back on what it was again now. Hold on. Mo Power, sorry, yeah. So you can look back on his search him up on Facebook, Mo Power. He's involved in strength training. He's got his own setup in Bolton, runs strongman events, sells equipment. So if you're looking for some, you know, real good equipment, solid base, foundational strength equipment, tried and tested by himself and his athletes. This guy's, you know, got full bag of knowledge behind him, and I recommend you go and look him up on Facebook. Besides that, pop down to the gym if you are in that region up north. I will be going to check him out as well soon. So once again, thank you, Mo, for joining us on the call, sharing that your battery did go there. Make sure you get it charged up for your next one that we may do in the future. But thanks again, guys, and thank you for watching or listening to this podcast. Take care.